Larry Groce here. MountainStage.org is where you can hear the show, and look who we have as a guest today, Dyke Parks, a man who has been an important part of American music since the mid-50s. We can't even begin to go in all the things that he has done or been a part of, so let's just talk about two things that he has out now with on his own label, Banana Stand.
Yes.
And this is a new label too, right?
Yes, it is.
You just created this to do some
yeah,
projects.
it's an old name. It was the name of my wife's shop in the flea market of Paris.
Yeah.
She had a shop there for 6 years called Banana Stand, and now I have a company. I resurrected the name because I love my wife, and it reminded me of when we fell in love and so forth. So that's the company, and I go and I flog this merchandise. And what the merchandise is this shows. Can I hold it up for
Please
your
do.
loving
Yeah.
viewers?
Please
see
do.
A very important poster of great artists who have contributed their visual raptures to my recorded efforts in hi-fi stereo vinyl. And
So these are two-sided singles,
there are
a
two-sided
series of them.
There are a series of them. There's 6 of them. I think I'll even do a 7th just to throw in a little lanyard there. I'm having a ball, you know, doing what I damn well want to in my 70th year.
Why not? And I was, you know, he's done, Dyke, as you know, probably has done so many arrangements for people. He's produced. I wanted to ask you one thing. How many of these are original songs? Some of them I think are not, some of them are.
Well, Madagascar is from, the Madagascar song I did is to celebrate my daughter's wedding. It's from a PD song, an a cappella wedding song from Madagascar, but its provenance, that is, to whom do I owe hearing this song?
Yeah.
I owe hearing this song to David Lindley and Henry Kaiser on a record they did called World Out of Time.
Right.
If you listen to that a cappella version and then you see how I eviscerated it, I think you'll appreciate how we're just trying to make a contribution to what should lie ahead. One of these records I've done is called Amazing Graces, and it's a string orchestra fantasy on Amazing Grace. The other song, one song, is by Billy Ed Wheeler, my favorite, let's call him mentor or exemplar of Appalachia. What is Appalachian? Billy Ed Wheeler wrote, of course, the song, The Reverend Mr. Black and Cold Tattoo, a whole bunch of beautiful...
Red-winged blackbird. He wrote some great... He's from West Virginia, so he's a big favorite of ours.
He's an amazing man, and he has contributed. So in the end game of my life, I'm trying to do a product that has tactile value, looks beautiful, is something to hold, and isn't just a download.
Well, I was curious about the difference between arranging for your own performances versus if someone comes to you and says, here's my song, you have their song, their version with a guitar or something, and you have to work with that. How is that different than you with your own?
Well, there is no difference. The only difference is that I enter each of those opportunities not knowing anything, not having a preset plan. To me, arrangement is basically observational. You observe what's there. You amplify what's there. I always, when I get something from somebody else, I copy every single note that I hear on any instrument of any particular pitch. I do that with a voice, too. I take note if a voice is out of tune. I do everything I can to comfort the singer, to give the singer a bed in which to luxuriate and somehow come into full bloom. I try very hard to stay out of the way, but do all I can to support. It's kind of like being a structural engineer in a way. You know, a lot of architects come out like Frank Gehry will throw a napkin on a table in a restaurant, and then somebody has to make that into a building,
right?
Like Disney Hall in Los Angeles, for example, or the Guggenheim Museum. Structural engineers work behind the scene to make this all work, and that's how important. Forgive me. That's how important I think arranging is. Celebrity is very interesting to me because I've avoided fame all my life. I wanted anonymity, and now I realize while I'm on the road, I realize I achieved my youthful ambition. My mother once said, she said, that she was delighted that my father and she were just in a state of wonder because I'd put my retirement before my career. Actually, I was working for many people, doing a lot of music to get my kids through college and stuff, but without acclaim. And I think that that's what the poem of Robert Frost represented. Provide, provide. Talks about fame. And we could put it in this term, in terms of a career arc and being known for your work. My agent told me a joke, and I'd like to tell you how it wraps it up. It goes like this. Here's a career. Who's Van Dyke Parks? Get me Van Dyke Parks. Get me a young Van Dyke Parks. Who's Van Dyke Parks?
Yeah, right.
So that's
Get me somebody that sounds like Van Dyke
yeah.
Parks.
So stuff. Well, it occurred to me that there's a lot of stuff I've done which is not available to the public, and that I'd like to see it available in my lifetime. Now, after I'm dead and gone, it ain't gonna hurt me one bit. But right now, it's just a matter of vanity. And so I'm putting this out on my, I love that, the oxymoronic nature of the word, modest vanity label, banana stand. The arrangements I've done, I see my picture with Ry Cooder there. I started with Donovan's Colors. Let's see, I have Sal Valentino of the Beau Brummels.
Got Arlo on there.
Got
Do you
Arlo
remember that
Guthrie.
song from the album?
Got Joseph Spence out on the Rolling Sea. I've got Dino Martin, Simply Because It Was Done. He's gone. Bonnie Raitt sings a Calypso Rosa. Sit Down, I Think I Love You was the first recording of a Steve Stills song. One Meatball by Ry Cooder. Cheek to Cheek by Lowell George. Fantastic. We wrote that song together. And Spanish Moon of Little Feat. I love them. And I also put on an Ice Capades commercial. It was done with a Moog synthesizer.
Which is fun.
But all of this from the age when I was a brunette.
And look at here. This looks like the choir boy that you were at one point.
Well, I was, and
Right.
I
Started out as a choir boy, in the what is it, American Boys Choir?
yeah, it was called the Columbus Boy Choir at
Up
the
in
time.
New Jersey.
Yep, outside of Princeton.
Well, my goodness, what a career!
So-
And we could talk. Obviously, somebody needs to talk to you for days and days. You have a son who is a filmmaker. Is he going to make a documentary of your life? Surely.
Well, I think I'm not sure if that would be a priority object. He just came back from Cambodia, from the Pol Pot, from the Khmer Rouge trials, so UN holding there. But he brought me for 5 weeks. I was very troubled that he was gone, but he brought me this scarf from Cambodia. So it's a cheerful thing. It's my brave scarf. I wouldn't have gotten through this interview without this. You know? This kept me protected from myself, I hope.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Your work is so enjoyable. I'm really delighted and honored to be
This is great. Van Dyke Parks. Hey, if you're going to get the singles, get them in this form so you can have this artwork, because there's some great stuff here.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.